Ever find yourself wishing you had a little extra cash for, maybe a celebratory beer after a long day?
Yeah, like a little something to brighten up the week.
Exactly. So today we're cracking open the world of beer money.
Beer money, huh?
You got it. It's all about those small but surprisingly mighty ways to earn a little something extra online, without making it a whole side hustle thing.
Okay, I'm intrigued. But with the internet being, well, the internet, isn't it totally overwhelming trying to figure out where to even start?
Oh, absolutely. But that's where we come in. We're tapping into the collective wisdom of a really cool corner of the internet for this deep dive, the BeerMoney subreddit.
A subreddit for beer money. That's pretty niche, but I like it.
It is, isn't it? And it's awesome. It's like this digital forum where people share their experiences, tips, and tricks for, well, making beer money, of course. They've even got this super organized list of, and get this, most common beer money sites.
Oh, wow. So they've done the hard work of sorting through the noise for you.
Exactly. Like having a guide to navigate that wild, wild west of online earning. And what I found particularly interesting were these monthly threads titled, Who Paid You?, where users actually itemize their earnings.
So you can see what's actually working right now, what's worth your time. That's smart.
Right. Real life results, not just someone promising you'll get rich quick. Speaking of real life, one user, Umikaza, really caught my eye. They did this incredibly detailed post about their weekly grocery haul.
Oh, grocery hauls. Those are always fun to see.
Right. And get this, they actually turned a profit grocery shopping.
Wait, hold on. Turned a profit. Like they made money buying groceries.
Yep, you heard that right. They spent about $61 on groceries, but through a combo of, get this, rebate apps, coupons, and those special offers you sometimes see,
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've seen those.
they actually got over $76 back.
No way! Seriously. That's incredible.
I know, right? They even snagged a pretty popular shampoo, Shea Moisture, for like $2 a bottle.
Instead of the, what, like $8 it usually is?
Exactly.
That's wild. So this stacking thing, is that like the key to it all?
That's what it seems like. You use multiple apps, offers, discounts, you name it, to really maximize those savings. It's like a game, finding the best deals and stacking them all up.
I can see how that would be kind of addicting. You versus the grocery store, armed with your phone and your coupons.
I know, it's a digital age grocery showdown. Though Umikaza did mention spending about 30 minutes or so just planning the trip, then another 50 minutes at the store itself.
Right, so it's not exactly instant riches. You've got to put in a little time, be strategic about it.
Totally. It's all about finding that balance, isn't it? Like, is it worth the extra effort for the payoff? That's a personal call, really.
Absolutely. It's got to fit into your lifestyle, not become another chore.
Exactly. And speaking of fitting it in, Umikaza mentioned making a few extra trips throughout the week just to snag those super specific deals.
Okay, so a bit more than a casual Sunday stroll through the aisles.
It sounds like it, yeah.
Well,
But they did stumble upon this app, the My Purina app. They're a big pet parent, buy a ton of Purina products anyway.
so finding an app that specifically rewards them for that is genius.
Right, it's like those loyalty programs, but turbocharged. Which, by the way, if you're not using those grocery store loyalty programs, what are you even doing?
Seriously. Those points add up. Okay, so we've got rebate apps and grocery hauls, but I'm guessing there's more to this beer money world than just stocking up on snacks.
Oh, you bet there is. The Vacburn Money community is full of all sorts of ways to earn. Let's dive into a few more, shall we? From microtasks to data sharing, we'll uncover the good, the bad, and maybe even the slightly shady.
Ooh, I love a good expose. Let's do it.
All right, let's talk about MTurk, for example. It's a popular one, but it seems like things have changed a bit.
Changed how so?
Well, some users have been saying that there aren't as many tasks up for grabs as there used to be.
Oh, really? That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I remember when MTurk first became a thing, it seemed like there were endless possibilities.
Yeah, it seems like the golden age of MTurk might be fading a bit.
Okay, so maybe not the cash cow it once was. Anything else we should know about MTurk before we write it off completely?
Well, even if the task pool's smaller, it's still an option. But those tasks themselves, they can be a little, how do I say this politely?
Tedious, soul-crushing, repetitive.
All of the above. And the pay, well, let's just say you're not going to get rich quick.
Okay, so manage those expectations, folks.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe there's a silver lining here. If MTurk's not the golden goose it once was, maybe there are other platforms rising to the challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Like Prolific, for instance. It's getting a lot of buzz, especially for those who prefer tasks with a bit of an academic flavor.
Academic, you say? That's interesting. What makes Prolific different from the rest?
For one, they're all about ethical treatment of their workers. They have an $8 minimum hourly rate, which is honestly pretty decent for this kind of gig.
$8 an hour. That's practically a living wage in the world of online microtasks. Tell me more.
Plus, their tasks are primarily designed for academic research. So if you've ever wanted to contribute to a scientific study, maybe dip your toes into the world of social science, this is a great way to do it.
So it's like you can earn a little beer money and potentially contribute to the advancement of knowledge at the same time.
Exactly. Double win. And it highlights something really important about this whole beer money game. Not all platforms are created equal. Some are definitely better than others.
Right. Got to do your homework, right? Just like with any kind of side hustle or, well, beer money venture.
And speaking of doing your homework, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of discovering these new platforms, right?
Totally. It's like shiny object syndrome. But we've got to remember there's always a flip side.
Right. Got to keep those eyes peeled for those red flags. And, wouldn't you know it, the BeerMoney folks, they're ahead of the game as always, sharing cautionary tales about those apps that turned out to be, well, not so legit.
Oh, no, really? Like scams?
Yep, scams like that whole thing with the Scratch Card Go app.
Scratch Card Go. That rings a bell, vaguely.
Yeah, it was all over the news a while back. Promised big rewards for playing these digital scratch-off tickets. You know, easy money. Just tap, tap.
Oh, right. I think I remember seeing an ad for that. It seemed too good to be true.
Exactly. And guess what? It was. Users started realizing they weren't actually earning anything. It was all just smoke and mirrors.
Classic bait and switch. So frustrating.
Isn't it? And it just goes to show, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right?
Word of wisdom right there.
Yeah.
And it kind of speaks to a bigger point about this whole beer money thing. It's not about getting rich quick, is it? It's about those small, steady wins.
Exactly. Managing those expectations, keeping it real. Which reminds me of this other post that really resonated with me from Youth Mighty Ox. They did a September earnings report, which, cool, but it was their FAQ section that really caught my eye.
Their FAQ. What was so special about it?
It was brutally honest, super insightful, like a reality check on the whole beer money thing. One big takeaway, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about putting in the effort, finding what works for you, building those consistent habits.
Okay, so patience and persistence. Got it.
Huh.
But, like, how much effort are we talking? Because, you know, time is money, too.
So true. And Youth Mighty Ox, they actually talked about that. They're transitioning into semi-retirement and using their beer money experience to explore new things, like day trading, even starting a YouTube channel.
Wow, so it's like beer money as a launch pad for bigger dreams. I like that.
Right. Shows that even a little extra income can open doors, give you some wiggle room to explore.
Freedom to experiment. That's really inspiring. But let's not forget the practical stuff. Taxes, for example. I mean, we are talking about income here, even if it's just beer money.
Oh, Youth Mighty Ox did not shy away from that. They were very upfront about it, emphasized that, most of this income, it's taxable, even if you don't get a fancy 1099 form.
Easy to overlook that when you're just collecting a few bucks here and there.
Totally. But Uncle Sam, he always wants his cut, right? And, while we're on the topic of being mindful, let's talk about the ethics of some of these platforms because, well, not all of them are created equal in that department either.
Oh, that's a really good point. Ethics and beer money? Not a combo you hear every day. What do you mean exactly?
Well, some of these platforms, they might have data collection practices that some people might not be comfortable with, And others, they might require you to promote stuff that you're not really down with, ethically speaking.
Ah, so you might end up compromising your values for a few bucks. That's a slippery slope.
Exactly. It's not always black and white. It's about making informed choices, being conscious of where your money's coming from and what you might be supporting indirectly.
Right, aligning your actions with your values.
Yeah.
I like that. It's like, what would Umikaza say?
Umikaza, our grocery hacking hero.
The one and only. Remember at the end of their post, they asked this thought-provoking question. Would anyone be interested in seeing recipes I've made using ingredients I got for cheap or even free through these apps?
Oh, that's right. They were going to share their beer money recipes. That's amazing. See, it's not just about the money. It's about the community, the creativity it unlocks.
Exactly. And it gets you thinking, doesn't it? Like, where does beer money end and just life begin?
It's like this feedback loop of earning, saving, and living a little more abundantly, all thanks to those smart choices and maybe a little bit of coupon clipping.
Love it. So for anyone listening who's feeling inspired, ready to dive into this world of beer money, what would you say is the first step? Where do they begin?
Speaking of BeerMoney, for those who haven't jumped into the world of Reddit yet, it can seem a little, I don't know.
A little intimidating, like a whole other universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's basically a huge collection of online forums, each one dedicated to a specific topic, you know?
And these forums, they're called subreddits. And let me tell you, there's a subreddit for practically everything under the sun.
Seriously, everything. Like, if you can think it, there's probably a subreddit for it. But yeah, each one has its own vibe, its own rules.
Yeah.
So, a little heads up, always a good idea to get the lay of the land before you jump into the comments section.
Oh, for sure. Wouldn't want to accidentally wander into a heated debate about, like, the best type of cheese for grilled cheese. Those can get intense.
Oh, tell me about it. Those online cheese debates are no joke. But seriously, exploring Reddit can be super fun. It's like discovering a whole new community of people who share your interests, no matter how niche those interests might be.
Absolutely. And hey, you might even learn a thing or two about, say, maximizing your grocery budget or finding those hidden gems for earning a little extra cash.
Exactly. And that brings us back to our main topic today, this whole world of beer money. We've covered a lot of ground, from rebate apps to those slightly shady scratch-off things. And, it's not about getting rich overnight, is it?
Not at all. It's about those small, consistent efforts, building those habits, being strategic, and, maybe even having a little fun along the way.
Totally.
Yeah.
And remembering those potential pitfalls, right? Gotta stay vigilant, do your research, not get swept up in those too good to be true promises.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's about taking control, finding ways to add a little padding to that budget, and maybe even discovering some new passions along the way. Like, who knew grocery shopping could be so lucrative and exciting?
Well, right. Who would have thought? So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of beer money, remember, the most valuable investment you can make is always in yourself. Keep learning, keep exploring those new avenues, and who knows what amazing opportunities you might uncover. Cheers to that.